Meeting for May 19th, 2025 for East China School District order. Can we please stand for a moment of silence and a pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, our first item is interest, recognition, and inquiry. Board of Education members.
I'll be the first to say congrats to the class of 2025. Happy for you guys. Be safe. Have a wonderful time this summer, but especially the safe part. And good luck with all your ventures. It's so long ago since we were all kids, and that's amazing for you all, and we're proud of you.
Anybody else?
I'll go. Gearing celebrated their last carnival on Friday. It was pretty amazing, so thank you to everyone that helped put in for that. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Teacher Appreciation Week was this month as well, so thanks for being the boots on the ground day in and day out. We appreciate you. And just the infant and toddler news, the room, I'm sure we'll talk about it tonight, but just want to make sure that every stone is being looked under, and if there's anything we could do to possibly save that program.
Okay.
I was able to go with our middle schools, Marine City Middle School and St. Clair Middle School, to Mackinac Island, our Junior Honor Society. It was an amazing trip. The kids are great. It's just such an honor to be a part of such strong leaders at such a young age. It's going to be, there's a lot coming up, so I'm excited to see what they're going to do.
I support everything that everybody said. I also want to wish our spring athletes the best of luck as they begin MHSAA tournament play. You got
I
nothing?
can make something up if you really want. I feel left out, but no, I got nothing.
Suzanne.
I have a couple of things tonight. I want to echo the congratulations and best wishes for our class of 2025 seniors. Last week of high school. It's hard to believe that it goes by as quick as it does, but congratulations to them. This evening at the PAC, right here attached to us, is the district art show. So if you have time following the meeting to walk through the art show, they've got some great examples of our student work. And then at 7:30 tonight, Marine City High School has a band concert, so you could get an art show and a band concert in. And then I'd also like to congratulate from central office, Beth Hemrick in our business office, a business office specialist. I received a letter today from Michigan school business officials, and I'll just read a couple sentences. It reads, on behalf of the Michigan school business officials, it's my pleasure to inform you that Elizabeth Hemrick, Beth Hemrick, has met the requirements for certification under the MSBO Voluntary Certification Program and has earned the Business Office Specialist certification. This award reflects a high degree of academic and professional preparation established by the MSBO Board of Directors through our Professional Development Committee. So congratulations again to Beth Hemrick in our business office. Thank you.
Cool.
All right, our next item is response to community input and questions. I'll say that we received a long list of questions, and as I was going through some of the questions, some were just qualitative statements, some were already answered, and some weren't relevant to school operations. So today I'm going to respond to the questions that are pertinent to the business and responsibilities of the school district. Number one, are students going to be blended at St. Clair campus as they were at Marine City campus? The St. Clair Middle School transition team, consisting of parents, teachers, and administrators, have been meeting and planning for the transition of middle school students to the SC St. Clair 6 through 12 campus next year. The middle classrooms will be located in the northwest section of the campus, as well as the north hallway. The middle school fine arts classrooms will be in the east hallway, along with the high school fine arts classrooms. Have there been any shooting threats made by students in East China School District this year? If yes, were staff and parents notified? Each situation is treated with the utmost seriousness, thoroughly investigated and assessed using a threat screening tool to determine the appropriate next steps in accordance with our established protocol. Number 3, on last month's financial statement, it shows $22,000 in attorney fees. What events led to such a large legal bill? East China School District seeks legal guidance when necessary to ensure that all decisions and actions align with applicable laws, regulations. Legal counsel is consulted in matters where it serves the best interests of the district and supports a legally compliant educational environment. Number 4, is it true that only 2 new bathrooms have been added to St. Clair campus for next year, even with all the new students moving there? No, that is not true. I don't know how many the number is, but it's more than 2. Is it accurate that there is a lot of peeling, buckling of floors, broken AC units, and other building issues after the renovations? No, not all those things are true, but there are some things that AUK and TMP are working through to make sure that everything is corrected before the project is completed. Is it true Pine River Elementary is staying open because parents complained? No. How many students have unenrolled from East China School this year? I can tell you the trend is consistent, but I'll have to get you the numbers in the next meeting. So I owe you that. How are teachers being reassigned to the St. Clair campus? The district works in cooperation with the union on staff placement. How many potential lawsuits and ADA complaints are currently pending against the district? The district does not have any pending lawsuits, and all ADA complaints have been researched and addressed. How much is the district paid in attorney fees compared to last year? That's another data point I have to get you, and I will give it to you in the next meeting. What is the high school's policy for removing students from classrooms when they continually disrespect teachers and disrupt learning? Each high school follows a discipline policy, the code of conduct, and required restorative practices as it pertains to student discipline. Next question. Does the board believe the Innovation Center was a good idea? Yes, but more importantly, that's what the community voted for. How many students attend it daily, and how has it affected school climate at each campus? I think there's been some trials and tribulations, but currently there's 185 students that attend daily, and next year it'll be about 250 students. Why does the district have 2 Title IX coordinators? As a matter of best practice, East China School District has a Title IX coordinator and a second person who is also able to accept a complaint. CTE funding, I have to get that figured for you as well. Is it accurate that the district pays for a computer program that doesn't work for kids during seminar or flex time? No, not that I know of. Is it factual that there was no ambulance on site at the 2023 Marine City football game because the district didn't want to pay for it? No. Does the board plan to visit schools and talk directly with staff and students? Board members frequently talk with staff and students and community members, in addition to receiving feedback from the superintendent and her staff. Does the superintendent investigate herself? No, she doesn't. If there is a complaint against the superintendent, a third party investigates. There has to be no finding of wrongdoing and there has been no finding of wrongdoing by our superintendent. How is the board actively monitoring the superintendent's decisions to ensure they align with the district's mission and community values? In the next few months, the district is updating the strategic plan for the district. Community input is an important part of the plan development. Whose cell phones are paid for by the district? Employees who have district-issued cell phones reimburse the district for the cost. That's all the questions for today. So I would also like to say that I reviewed the Just Ask questions that are on the district website. There's a lot of good questions on there, and they're being responded to very quickly. So it's a great mechanism to ask questions and get answers immediately, I would say. So the next item on our agenda is RESA 25-26 budget resolution. Ms. Brenda Tenniswood, come on down.
Good evening, Suzanne and members of the board. Okay, I know I'm not supposed to have a special district, favorite district, and if I asked, I'll deny this, but I spent 27 years here, so driving here, this is a special place in my heart. So thank you very much for having me this evening. I'm wearing two hats. So first of all, I'd like to thank the board, Suzanne, Angie Gleason, both high school principals, and the incredible community for all the support. I am a proud co-mentor of FLIRB, Team 5843, the robotics team that surreally won the state championship. And then we said we'd never go to Worlds unless we won the state championship. So with a ton of community support and a ton of support from people in this room, we were able to take our students to Worlds in Houston. And I can't begin to tell you what an amazing experience that was for the students in this district. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. What an amazing experience. And it would not have been, certainly not have been possible without all the great community support. So thank you. All right. That was probably the most fun part of my presentation this evening as well, wearing my professional hat. So I'm the proud superintendent of St. Clair County RESA, and I'd also like to start with a note of appreciation. Because although I'm here to give you a concise, I promise, 70,000-foot view of our budget, more importantly, I really want to take this opportunity on behalf of RESA to say thank you. Thank you to the East China Board. Thank you to Suzanne and your amazing team. The work that we do on behalf of students and our community and parents could not be possible without everyone collaborating together around our shared interests and collective vision. So thank you. So I guess if you remember one thing from tonight, that's the most important. Budget. I'd like to stand before you with a ton of certainty around our budget for 25-26. It's not there. Much like you're all trying to come up with budgets for next year, some things that we're monitoring really closely. Obviously at the state, where's our budget going to land with the State Aid Act? Although I'm excited and optimistic around the per pupil funding, still the unfunded liabilities are going to have a pretty negative impact on budget. So that's one concern. The other thing, Medicaid funding, I'm sure you're all hearing a lot around that. You may not be aware that RESA receives around $1.8 million in funding annually. We flow the bulk of that money out. 98% of that money goes out to our local districts, and it supports everything from students on IEPs, OTs, PTs, and some mental health. So we're keeping a really close eye on that. So all that to be say, if you pulled up our 200+ page budget, I'm sure Angie has scrutinized it line by line. If you've not, what you might have noticed though is if you look at our current budget, 24-25 to 25-26, they're pretty flat. That was done intentionally until we have some more anchors of certainty. I will also say what's not reflected in that budget is internally, we're budgeting really conservatively. So as positions become open, typically by attrition, because I can't imagine anyone would ever want to leave St. Clair County RESA. But as people retire, folks move on, we're really doing a deep dive in terms of, is that position needed? Can we assume those job responsibilities? So really trying to be very proactive and intentional as we're looking forward to the year to come. When we look programmatically, which I'd like to highlight just a few things, for our newer board members, you may not be aware that RISA's budget has 3 distinct buckets, if you will. So there's the general fund, special education fund, and our CTE fund. And we're not allowed by law to transfer money in and out of those funds. So we approach each as a separate entity. So within general fund, again, if you scrutinize the budget, you would see a lot of grant funds. So the large part of general fund are state funded grants. So everything from our 31N funds to early childhood. So a lot of variability in terms of money coming in and money flowing out. Within general fund like functions, professional development, okay, that's near and dear to my heart. But we know that the best way to get student achievement is to have a highly engaged, well-trained, enthusiastic teacher. And I know there's some in the audience tonight that are going to present. So East China has a fantastic teaching staff. But at RISA, one of the things that we're committed to is continually to evolve our professional development. So again, it's not one size fits all. We really want to be alongside our districts. So that looks like everything from having a literacy coach that comes out in classes and works alongside teachers to pull out sessions. I will say post-COVID, we have had greater participation and I think better opportunities to offer sessions where teachers can come out of the classroom for a little bit, because we know that time in classroom is critically important. But as we're looking at that professional development, obviously if we're pulling teachers out of a classroom, we want to make sure it's dynamic, it's engaging, it reflects best practices. So one quick example of that, which is something we started this year, is called Second Shift. For the past several years, we've had a really big focus on early elementary, critically important. But we also wanted to make sure that we were working with our secondary teachers. So Second Shift was an initiative, Shifting Instructional Practices, Second Shift, was an initiative where we had secondary teachers at Pine River Nature Center. They were digging in the creek, they were looking at critters, they were doing analysis, statistical analysis. You may be asking, why in the world did we have our teachers do that? Because we wanted them to experience the types of learning that we want to see in our classrooms. And I will say that the surveys post participants were probably the highest professional development surveys I've seen at RISA. So the teachers really participated and they really enjoyed that. And most importantly, they really talked about how they could take that learning and reflect it back in their classrooms. Early childhood, every year, yeah. I'm talking so fast, thank you. Okay, every year I threaten, I don't ever really do it, but pop quiz, how many books has Imagination Library distributed in the county? It's on your sheet.
That's a lot.
Yeah, a lot, over 600,000. And yes, the number of books is important, but more importantly, I think that reflects parents and children that we've positively impacted, again, collaboratively. RISA, the United Way, the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. As a former literacy specialist, the excitement and enthusiasm of a parent reading with your child, that can't be matched. And so with the United Way, we're able to deliver those books directly to a parent's doorstep. They don't have to go out beyond their mailbox to get really high quality children's literature. So we're really proud of that continued endeavor. So early childhood, we know that has exploded exponentially within the last several years with pre-K for all. I need to drink more. Pre-K for all, which again, we can't do that without collaboration with our local districts. That is both an opportunity and a challenge, because it's really easy to say we want preschool for every single 4-year-old in St. Clair County. The reality is there's some significant logistics to overcome. And so one of the first things we started doing was looking at our GSRP programs and saying, can we just add more children into our existing classrooms? And the superintendents in the county have been really supportive of that and have worked really hard. I would also say each of our local districts has been very intentional about recruiting, getting the word out, making sure that parents are aware of this opportunity. So over the next several years, we are looking forward to continuing to grow those programs in our local districts as well. Great collaboration between RISA and East China. That's general fund. Special education, again, there is a large IDEA grant. We also have a millage in the county that supports special education. Tons of work going on in special ed in terms of how can we best support our most at-risk students. To that end, Creekside Learning Center opened this fall. Prior to COVID, we knew that we were having and seeing highly dysregulated children across the county. Every district had pockets of children that teachers were doing their utmost to pull out every tool in their toolbox, but we had some children that were really in need of some more intensive support. So at the request of our local superintendents and in tons of collaboration with our local special education directors, Creekside Learning Center opened this fall. The intent is to provide highly intensive wraparound services for children who are in need. They're identified through an IEP process, come to Creekside, help children learn regulation skills, and then, and I think this is the most important part, when they're ready, when they're regulated, then we help them transition back to the district with a transition team, with tons of collaboration back to our local districts. So the intent is that to transfer those skills and strategies so as children leave Creekside, they're very successful in their home districts. It's new, it's early. Right now, we started with the potential to have 2 classrooms. We have a small number of children. At some point, we could have up to 10 children in each of those 2 classrooms. We're not there yet. I suspect mid-year next year we may be, but I think one of the things that the smaller size has done this year has enabled us to really work intensively to make sure that we've got every bug ironed out and that we really have the program the way that we want it. Maybe some good news to our local districts as you're working on your budgets is because of the fact that we're such in the infancy with this program, we are intending on holding our districts harmless with their PA-18 for next year as well. So really felt strongly that RESA needed to support that program, and we have expended a number of funds to both renovate the building but also with the appropriate levels of staffing at Creekside. All right, so third bucket, CTE. Oh, we are so proud of our CTE programs, but then again, that is not just a St. Clair County RESA initiative. We do that in close collaboration with our local districts. And I know East China had a bronze, silver, and gold winner at states, so congratulations to those students. I know Jocelyn Forsyth, because she's on the robotics team, took a silver in engineering and robotics. Allie Stampless is your gold winner in welding sculpture, and she's going on to the national competition. And I believe, I don't want to miss anybody, so I believe it was Carter? Is it Carter? Carter Schulte in culinary arts won a bronze medal. So congratulations to all the outstanding achievement by the East China School District students. I think one of the challenges at CTE is how do we continue to offer more programming for students? And that has been, again, both an opportunity and a challenge. And so we are very, very appreciative that starting this fall, we have been able to add 2 new programs. One is a AIS heavy equipment program at Richmond. It's held at the AIS site. In the past, we had less than class size, which means we could only take a really small number of students. We have now an AM and a PM heavy equipment sessions slated for this fall. It's already full. Also, we are starting a new public safety program which will be housed in a wing of Woodrow Wilson in Port Huron School District, which is very conveniently located in walking proximity to a brand new fire station in Port Huron. The program is mapped out so that year 1, students can get kind of like a global overview of law and legal topics, everything from 911 dispatch operators to what does career in law enforcement look like, to some concepts around law for students who might be wanting to become a lawyer. And then year 2, we're hoping to add Fire Safety 1 and Fire Safety 2 certifications for students, so when they exit the program, they can go right into a career as a firefighter. Students have to be 18 to sit for those exams, which is why that's a year 2 programming. Additionally, we are still working on trying to figure out how we can do some renovations to our physical site at 499 Range Road, our tech building, to see if we could do some interior renovations and increase space so that we could add a program in High Bay. Tentatively HVAC, hopefully this time next year I'll be able to give you a more concrete update on that. So again, really high level Cliff Notes version, but most importantly, I want to say thank you for the great collaboration. We're excited to continue to work together on behalf of our students in St. Clair County. And at this time, if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
No, no questions.
Wow, all right.
We appreciate you taking the time and hearing about it. It's a great program.
Thank you. And I wish I could stay for the Pine River. I have my sticker. I wish I could stay for the student presentation because I'm sure that's going to be the best. But I have another board meeting. But thank you so much to the board. Thank you, Ron, for the water.
You're very welcome. Nice to see you, Mrs.
You
Dennis.
just want me to read this, Just,
Yep.
and then, okay. All right, next item on the agenda is St. Clair County Association of School Boards Scholarship Award. Suzanne will present it.
Thank you, Mr. Westrick. If I could please have Caden Lohr and Mr. Diller come on up, and I'm going to describe the scholarship and how both of these people are being recognized this evening. So Caden and Mr. Diller. You can stand right in front of Mr. Haslam and Mr. Miller.
Go ahead. Be my guest.
All right, I have the pleasure this evening of presenting a scholarship award, and I'd like to read right from the St. Clair County Association of School Boards as to why and how these awards are being given. The St. Clair County Association of School Boards is pleased to announce that 5 students have been chosen for the association's annual scholarship awards. 5 outstanding students from our local school district will each receive $1,000. This year's scholarship recipients were selected from among 67 applicants countywide after a vigorous screening process was conducted by the St. Clair County Association of School Boards Executive Council members. This evening, the association is proud to present East China School District's representative of the 2025 Annual Scholarship Award, and our recipient for the $1,000 award is Caden Lohr from St. Clair High School. We were going to give Caden his award at the last board meeting, but he was being inducted into the National Honor Society on the same night, so we rescheduled for tonight. So thank you for scheduling tonight. Caden will graduate this June from St. Clair High School and plans to attend Oakland University, where he will pursue a dual bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering and electrical engineering. So good luck with that. Caden was active in school by participating in varsity football, varsity track, and varsity powerlifting. Now, each student scholarship recipient was asked to name the teacher who had the greatest influence on their decision to pursue a degree in post-secondary education. For Caden, that teacher is Mr. Jason Diller. So I get to present a gift and a certificate to Mr. Diller. Good luck to Caden and congratulations, Mr. Diller, and Tiffany will get your picture. Is it okay, Tiffany, or is there someone better? Okay, thank you both. Congratulations. Congratulations, Mr. Diller.
Next item on the agenda is Academic Spotlight, Pine River Elementary School. Rachel Card is the principal.
Good evening, Superintendent Sybula, President Westrick, and members of the board. Tonight, I'm joined by teachers Amber Alley and Rebecca Pouchet, and students Josie Dennison, Cora Robbins, Tommy Shubnall, and Connor Kelly, who are here to talk about the year-long theme that we had, Learning is Our Superpower. Themes are a staple in elementary education. They improve learning by providing a unifying context that allows students to create connections between different concepts. This leads to deeper understanding, increased retention, and better engagement. Essentially, themes help students see the big picture by relating different facts and topics to a central topic. Different people are also united by a theme in the same way. After the COVID pandemic, the theme Better Together really resonated, and then it made sense to continue with the theme every year after that. With growing hearts and minds, we worked on developing both the social emotional well-being and academic success of students. With It Takes a Community, we shifted to uniting all stakeholders to strengthen our school community. With Pioneers Reach for the Stars, we developed intrinsic motivation in students to propel them to their greatest potentials. This school year, we worked on leveraging the strengths or superpowers of students and staff to empower each person and the whole group.
When we say learning is a superpower, we're recognizing that person has unique abilities that not only contribute to their own success, but also to the success of those around you. These abilities provide us with a foundation to support each other and foster growth. This perspective shifts our focus from what we lack to what we can achieve together.
Our main goal was to empower students and staff. We wanted everyone to embrace their unique strengths and carve out a personal pathway to success. Next, we shifted our focus from a deficit-based perspective to a strength-based approach. This means instead of focusing on weaknesses or learning gaps, we recognize the untapped potential that exists in all of us. Finally, we wanted to create a positive school culture that celebrates individuality and fosters growth both individually and collectively. To achieve that goal, we knew we needed to be intentional in connecting with each of our students personally in order to connect them to the greater school community. We wanted them to know they are all super in their own ways.
The first step in implementing the theme was to engage our staff and make them feel recognized and empowered. Each staff member at Pine River received a personal welcome back letter highlighting one of their superpowers. It was a way to remind our staff that they are valued and essential to our community. Our first staff meeting had a superhero theme with capes and power journals. These were fun and symbolic ways for our staff to embrace their unique strengths and have a mode for documenting their journeys. We also had weekly staff shout-outs and monthly staff shout-outs at school assemblies. This was a fantastic opportunity for us to celebrate each other's contributions.
Our teachers in the PTO really got us students excited about the theme. First up, we have the PTO shirts. These aren't just shirts, they represent our unity and spirit. They help foster a sense of belonging among all of us pioneers, making us feel part of something bigger.
Next, let's talk about our STARS assemblies. These assemblies celebrate students' achievements and recognize their hard work. They're not just events, they're moments where students shine and feel validated for their efforts. Each month, we had student superpower shout-outs.
Throughout the year, there were superpower projects around the building. A school-wide project invited us to create our own personal superheroes during the month of March. And let's not forget about our classroom themes. Teachers used the theme to create fun learning environments that stimulated curiosity and engagement.
Another way we engaged students was with our PTO Raise Craze fundraiser. The theme was Kindness is Our Superpower, and students completed acts of kindness while family, friends, and acquaintances sponsored those acts of kindness with flat monetary donations to our PTO. Kindness is a huge strength of our pioneers, and starting the year with this focus on doing acts of kindness reminded everyone how kindness resonated through the whole school and even into the community.
Even our fish tank has a superhero theme.
Now, let's talk about how we infuse the theme into teaching and learning. We focused on empowering conversations. All of our staff members work hard to connect to individual students, and they were intentional in reminding students of their individual strengths during informal conversations. In the classroom, we made sure to recognize what each student excels at, and we tailored our approach to help them develop their skills further. Something as simple as giving a student a book or writing assignment based on a topic of interest can boost their confidence in that instructional area. Lastly, we made sure to recognize our own superpowers. For example, during data analysis meetings, we began the conversation by acknowledging what we were doing well before diving into areas in which we need to improve.
Our superpower theme was reflected in our school culture and climate all year. Our hallway decorations created a welcoming atmosphere that uplifted spirits and gave us a sense of belonging. Classroom decorations created vibrant spaces that enhanced learning and reminded students of celebrating and growing their superpowers.
And we can't forget Spirit Days. These events were important for building community and creating school pride. They allow students to express themselves and connect with each other in fun, meaningful ways.
Throughout the year, our theme was infused in all of our communications, including the monthly Pine Bow and our school Facebook page. The PTO Kindness Craze fundraiser was also a way to connect the theme to the greater school community. Our goal was to engage families in ways to strengthen our school culture and enhance the overall school experience for our students.
Now let's dive into some of the special events we've had this year. First up is the Super U Challenge. This event encouraged us to showcase our unique abilities while developing a sense of community. It was all about celebrating what makes each student a superhero in their own right.
Next, we had our superhero book fair. The PTO decorated the whole school, which created excitement for us students. We also had the Family Kindness Night. This event emphasized the importance of kindness in our school culture and supported our Kindness as Our Superpower fundraiser. Students participated in a variety of kindness activities, including making dog toys, decorating coffee holders, making bookmarks, and other things that were shared in the community.
Another event was one school, one book, and our literacy night. The book we chose to read together was Almost Super, which taught us that we all have superpowers and don't need to be superheroes to use them.
Kaiser Studios, our school photography company, supported our theme too. Both staff and students took advantage of the theme to create some fun pictures this year.
As we reflect on our journey, let's talk about how we celebrated our individual and collective superpowers. This celebration wasn't just about fun activities. It was about creating an environment where students truly believed in themselves. When students recognize their strengths, they thrive in learning. It is also crucial for our staff to feel valued. When staff members feel appreciated, they can inspire and engage our students even more. Lastly, we engage families in this journey of learning and growth. Together, we formed a community where everyone plays a role in nurturing our students' potential.
What will be next year's theme?
Stay tuned!
Do you have any questions for our pioneers?
Did somebody get slimed? Is that what was in that challenge? Somebody got slimed.
Who got slammed?
Wait, was it students
A student?
that got to do that? Yeah. That was fun, right? Oh, that was from last year?
Was that last year? Oh, the Super U.
Yeah, Super U challenge.
It looks like it.
I want a cake.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr.
Thanks,
Carr.
guys, great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's some safety cues.
All right, we'll take a couple minute break, so if anybody wants to leave, they can. On our agenda is summer bond work presentation, TMP and AUK.
Does this work? Is there a pointer? Ooh, it's our lucky day. It actually works. Like a lot of times I have these and they don't work. Okay, sorry. That was very exciting. I should have known. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, President Westrick and Superintendent Cybula and the whole board and administration and East China leadership for hosting us today to give you an update on the bond work. We're going to focus a lot on the construction that will happen this summer, all that exciting stuff and the dirt digging and all the trucks and all that will be out there. So I am Melanie Hall. I'm from TMP Architecture. I'm the project manager. And this is Natalie Miller. She's the interior designer from TMP Architecture. And then we've got Jerry McClellan from AUK Construction, and he's going to start giving us some of those details of construction.
Thank you, Melanie, and thank you all for having us. We are in a couple years here, so most of you are familiar with seeing us in your buildings, but this year we will be focusing on wrapping up a couple of things on the 612 campuses. Particular to Marine City, we've got a little bit of fire alarm work to take care of, and that's going to wrap up in June, and we'll have the inspector in July to get that one wrapped up. Up at St. Clair 612, we're in year 2. Big work is the boiler replacement and the rework of the front bus loop. We'll be upgrading the power plant. That is necessary due to the fact that we are getting air conditioning fired up in all the classrooms, all the areas, so the building will be air conditioned. And then there's a little bit of interior remodel, I say little bit, compared to what we've been doing. We are through the bulk of the work there. The addition is online, and so we're excited to get that wrapped up this summer. At Pine River, we're going to be focusing on the parking lot and sidewalk replacement. That'll take place this summer. And then at St. Clair River Elementary, we have some heavy site improvements, new unit ventilators going in the classrooms, and then interior renovation, a new entrance. There's an air handler replacement, and then interior lighting throughout the building. These projects are a little less intense than what we've had in other years, but still a lot of work going on. For instance, up at St. Clair River is about 320 truckloads of dirt and concrete and asphalt that have to come out this summer, and that means that amount of volume has to come back in, and we'll be coordinating that with all the contractors, and we're pleased to have several local contractors involved, so we look forward to wrapping those projects.
Thank you. So Natalie and I are going to dive a little bit deeper into the details of the architecture and the interior design, and we have some finishes and all that fun stuff that we get to share with you. So at Pine River Elementary, this summer will be on the outside. So all that gray area, the shaded area, this will get repaved, that bus loop will get repaved. And then we'll also come in here, and all of this pavement here will get repaved along with new striping. And we actually started to organize it a little bit more to get more parking in there and to make it a little bit more organized so it'd be easier to go in and out. We also have some concrete work here, all those boxes there, that is sidewalk and concrete work. We're going to replace the slabs that are outside of the existing doors.
So a lot of good construction happening on the outside this summer, and then next summer, we'll get into the building for Pine River. All right, and then St. Clair 6 through 12. So this is some of the construction that Jerry was working on, and you see all, again, the shaded areas are new pavements and new pathways for buses and driving. This is that main entrance as you come into the building, so that will get worked on with concrete and really make that a focus as you come into the building. Again, also stormwater upgrades on both the buildings we've talked about, and frost slabs outside of those exterior doors.
Only, if I'm understanding correctly, all of the hash or small squares, that's concrete work.
Correct, yep.
It's not concrete currently, that will.
Right.
Yes. Excuse me. Also, didn't we get a big delivery last Tuesday on the top of the St. Clair 612 campus?
I love this crowd that gets excited about rooftop placements.
It was
Yeah, we set 4 rooftops successfully last week, and there's exciting photos I could share with you in our update. But yes, we successfully got some rooftop replacements. There's a lot of coordination that goes into that, so it's an exciting day for us to set those units.
Thank you.
All right. So we all know that St. Clair Middle School will be transformed into St. Clair River Elementary School, where we'll have students from kindergarten through 5th grade hosted inside the building. So this summer as well, we'll be working on repaving all of this shaded area that loops around the building. And then we've also got parking up here as we get through the building. There are key sidewalk areas that are being reconstructed, the concrete's being replaced, and those areas were, picked out as a group, things that fit into the bond budget. The existing playground here will remain as is, and then you see this hatched area here and this hatched area there are 2 brand new playgrounds. This one here, and we'll go a little bit more into deep detail, but this one here is for focusing on lower elementary, so K through 2nd grade, and then the other one is more focused on 3rd through 5th grade. This one here too, for the young learners, is fenced in completely, and so there's a way to get in and kind of keep those runners protected, better lack of.
Can I ask a question about the St. Clair? Where will the buses go and where will the parent drop off? How will that work?
The transition team, consisting of parents and administrators and staff, are working on exactly those questions, where the drop-offs will be for each grade and where the buses will go, including the RISA buses.
Okay, so a little bit deeper into the playground. So this one here is the one that was on the left side of the image, the west side. This is upper elementary, 3rd through 5th grade, and we're adding in equipment to fill that space there. So this here is the playground that will have playground surface, and then outside of that, no fence here, is just the landscape and the grass. So there's plenty of room for, free play if they're not wanting to go onto the equipment there. And then the other one that we showed over on the right side of the plan, or the east side, this will be the kindergarten through 2nd grade. And you could see this blue line here will help represent the fence line. We've got a great little area here where some free play, and then new equipment and equipment used from Gearing Elementary will be placed over here. There's also here, we're showing a sidewalk, so the students can come in with tricycles, little bicycles, and be able to ride up and down in there and practice things like that, but still inside the fenced-in area. And then this here, this colorful, beautiful picture. This is kind of the concept. These are the items that we're pulling from Gehring to put into these spaces, plus some new structures, part of the bond work, and then a little bit of work coming from a grant as well. So looking at the building then at St. Clair River Elementary, we're here just like similar to the other buildings that we're doing in the district. We're adding a new safe and secure entry. So that's right here. This is your current entry where students will come in the morning and exit in the afternoon. And then once those hours are done, those doors are locked, and any sort of visitor or maybe a late student, parents, they'll come through here. And I'll show you an image. This will help. So if you're standing right in the existing building, to the left is that safe and secure entry. And then to the right is your existing entry that you would normally use during that, the morning time and the afternoon time. And so this is standing inside of that main reception area where you're able to sit at that desk and you could see into that vestibule. So that's all glass. You'll be having very good visibility there. Inside this main reception, we'll get to a little bit later, but the carpet gets replaced. The walls are painted, all new lights, LED, 1-for-1, new ceilings. This is just a little bit further back, so you see that space, and then turning around the other way and looking out into the corridor. Again, new paint, carpet, new lights. One thing we want to point out here is for the kindergarten, Young 5 CI classrooms, there'll be an introduction of a new toilet room in these rooms. So you'll see the toilet room on the right side. The toilet and the sink. What's so great too is we've been able to put a sink on the outside for easy access to if maybe you just need to wash your hands. So there'll be 6 brand new toilet rooms. This is the kindergarten wing. This is on the east side on the first floor. Along with some of these updates, the classrooms will get, as Jerry talked about, new unit ventilators, which will help the heat and the cooling throughout the year. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about finishes.
So this is kind of an overview of the building as a whole. This image is specifically showing our flooring replacements. So anywhere you see essentially color, we're replacing flooring. So whether that's carpet, resilient, we're getting some new replacement of some stairs, just based off the functions of those spaces. Anywhere that's gray, we're leaving existing flooring to remain. Those were spaces that were in good condition, or maybe also like back of house where students aren't necessarily going to be. So this is on that first floor. You can see the wings with the classrooms, our main office area, and our music and media spaces kind of there on that lower left side. And then this is showing on the second floor. Again, all of our elementary classrooms that will be occupied will all be getting new flooring. All of these spaces will also be getting new paint, new lights, as well. So just a nice overall refresh. So each of those wings, because it is such a big school and with our, small kiddos wanting to create a sense of community, which in each wing are color coded. So your west wing is blue, east wing on the first floor is yellow, and then the second floor, you're kind of green and purple. So this will be, as shown, new flooring, new paint, new ceiling and lights. And then this is just kind of giving an overall finish palette with both the interior finishes as well as furniture. So lots of fun color for our elementary students. And then the St. Clair River Elementary will also be getting new furniture. This will be delivered in August as construction wraps up before the start of the school year. So anywhere there you see in blue is getting new furniture. And then gray is either places that don't need furniture or we're reusing existing. So we are very strategic in furnishing any spaces that are being used by students. So again, classrooms, your music, your media center, and such. The same thing on the second floor, your classrooms and your learning commons, your resource rooms, as well as specials, so your technology, STEM, and such. And this is just kind of a quick overview of some of the general classrooms and the furniture they'll be receiving. We worked very closely with East China leadership and got feedback as to what made sense for each age group. So this classroom floor plan here and the images on the right is what will be for our young fives. And you can see that toilet room up in the corner that Melanie had talked about previously. So they'll have their own in-class bathroom for use. Kindergarten and first grade will have the same set. In all of these classrooms, we are accommodating for 30 students in a class, plus an additional 6 seats for guided reading around that kind of orange table you can see in the bottom left of the floor plan. And then this is for our 2nd through 5th grade students, being very cognizant of our storage needs and what 2nd and 3rd grade might need versus 4th and 5th. And then moving over to special education, there will be 3 CI classrooms in this building. So we worked very closely with the leadership to design for their needs in the space, as well as their resource rooms.
I just want to make a comment. I want to thank Melanie and Natalie in particular for working with the transition team and the principal at St. Clair River Elementary, because we looked at a lot of different options for carpet and a lot of different configurations for the classroom, and they took, each time we got feedback, and there was a lot of it, they took it back and came up with a solution for us. So I do want to thank you both for that.
I'm just wondering with like the outdoor play space, just because that has such a wonderful green space area that isn't being utilized. Because from what I recall, like putting the 3rd to 5th grade play area, that's actually a pretty small area outside. And then, you know, would that existing play set ever really get used if the littles are the only ones over there? Because the fenced-in area is really next to the old existing play set. So would are the bigger kids ever even going to use that? You know, and then you have the basketball hoop. That whole area really isn't being utilized.
But it can be if the teachers would like to take their classes over there. So if you're a younger, or older younger, or in the upper playground, if you want to use that existing open space just to the south, you can use that, or you can come over to the old playground. We just didn't think it was a good idea to take it out if it's there. You know, we can always use more space.
Yeah. I'm just thinking like positioning though, because like if you look, the upper ed, that's very close to that driveway. The circle.
Right here. Oh.
Yeah.
You're concerned with cars? So there is
And
discussion.
just that play space. I mean, I'm over there a lot. You know, I know that that's really not that big of an area. And like, how many kids are outside at recess together for like lunch? And, you know, I mean, I don't know how much space they're really going to have to run and play and safely.
The square footage on that second playground, but what the teachers asked us for in our conversations, right there, was to be able to come off of the playscape area and down into all that grass that's there behind the gym. So if you go back to that last picture, Melanie, so see the playscape area is right there where her right there.
This is the
Playscape.
Yeah.
So down below that, you have the ability to go there, or if the teacher walks down into the green space right there.
I mean, like, how are they going to be walking? Through the gym? Through the building? I mean, because that's like the trash dumpsters over there to the...
Those are closer to the building over there. They can walk down, but that was their that was the transition team the teachers' input that developed both of these playgrounds. And what's neat about this facility is they do have, you know, the fields, they've got softball fields, they've got a track, they've got the
Oh, right. So, I mean, are
football
they gonna
field.
be-
So they have lots of options for play, depending on what they would like to do. It's a very large footprint.
Oh, right, I just want to make sure it's utilized then.
Yep.
And then
Good
we've
point.
even, in our plans, we have updated this area where it's, you know, resurfaced a little, and then we've got the Foursquare, and we've got ideas there too, to help upgrade
Okay.
that, so there's even more places to play.
And when you say replace sidewalks limited, what do you mean by that?
We're not replacing every single sidewalk. We went through there with the team and walked the ones that needed to be replaced immediately, so that could fit into the overall budget.
Okay. Because that parking lot's pretty rough.
It is.
And you have lighting poles that are down right now, at least the one. I mean, you got the littlest of the littles here, so I just want to make sure they're safe, running around, and we're using that large footprint, like we mentioned, to the best of our abilities.
What portion of the sidewalks are being replaced?
Mike, I can get that back, but if you see the little squares, that's the planned replacement. So you kind of see, you can see there's some lengths where the parking.
There's a chunk here, up here,
Those little squares?
all the little like hash marks right here, this is all replaced new concrete.
I can get that highlighted up and get your percentage, Mike.
Okay.
It's not every flag of concrete that needs to be replaced. Some of it is in okay shape. So what we did is, made sure to do it in a reasonable manner. I do believe we were looking at other options as well, if it could be mud jacked, if there was some settlement. So there are several solutions we're looking to there. And then also, we do carry contingency in these projects. So if we get out there and there is something that is, at the time we did the design and did the bidding, may have looked good. This spring and fall and winter may have heaved it or cracked it. So we will be identifying that and making sure that we do make it for the littles, as you point out, that it is appropriate.
And then with the bus loop, you guys said you're still figuring out. So again, like, to have the new asphalt there, and then if it's not quite the direction you guys end up going, that would be.
Well, they do know it's, all of the resurfaced areas is where the bus, it'll be in that loop.
Okay.
For sure. The teachers were discussing which were the shortest entry points for certain grade levels. So if you've ever dropped a child off at this site, you know that for the middle school, I think they had certain grades on the side, certain in front, certain in the back, and you kind of graduated as you went around. But the elementary team that's moving to this site is being cognizant of how far the students are walking and making sure we get the youngest ones closest to the building. So that's what their discussions, and we have some RISA buses that will be coming here too that are on a little bit different schedule, so they were working through all those thoughts as far as drop off and pick up.
And I know you don't have it nailed down, but where would parents drop off? Because at least for kindergarten, they had to stay with their child so they had to park, stay with their child until the teacher took them in.
That first, so with is the last discussion that I heard, I don't know if they formalized this as a teaching team or a building, but where the little playground, the younger playground is, there's a sidewalk right there that is the shortest distance to the entry, yes.
Okay, so parents would park in that parking lot.
That or the front door. So those were the two discussions or ideas that they had the last time I was a part of the conversation.
Because I actually had a parent in my car the other day, and she's like, pull in there and see, where am I gonna drop off? Where am I gonna park? There aren't enough parking spots, so that's why I'm asking.
Yep, no, they're all great questions. Whenever you move to a new site, those are all the considerations that, and this transition team has done a great job, so I'm sure they will have a good solution for us.
And then the additional vestibule that's being created, would that be in the north side where the front office is currently?
Yeah.
And the thought process there was, why did you guys want to make an additional vestibule?
That's that safe and secure entrance. So the main entrance that's to the left of the stairway there, that's the entrance that's being used now. So if a student gets dropped off late, they have entry, or an adult that comes, entry right into the building. So we want to create the safe and secure entrance where they have to go through a sally port. And if you, can you go to the picture where you can see this, right there? They have to wait in that vestibule before they enter our school building. So
Where now they just get buzzed in.
That's
with the
correct.
Big doors.
Yeah.
And you can't really see.
And then they're in the building. Yep. So for all of our builds, we want to be able to have that kind of holding place before we let them into our school.
So for a lot of buildings, you're able to take the current entry and, you know, you could have a desk sitting right next to it. In this case, it didn't work out very well.
Yeah, 'cause it's
great that it's
farther.
connected here, and now we've got, I mean, it's just an easy solution
Okay.
to kind of get that all connected. There's plenty of room for people to come inside the office, or they stay in the vestibule.
Okay. And then can you remind me for the St. Clair campus where middle school students will be entering?
Again, their transition, they have a transition team that's working on where the entry points will be and whether or not they'll be separated or, because they ride the buses together. Middle school and high school students currently always have ridden bus together, so they may just have entry points.
All like area A?
Yep.
Okay. No, go ahead.
Sure. The fenced-in area for the K through second, is that a privacy-style fence, or what are we putting up? Chain link?
It was a chain link.
To climbers?
couple
Are
of
we gonna put
gates.
anti-climbing? Because you look at Gearing right now, and we've got a wall. You know, we got a cement block wall for those portions, so. And we're gonna protect runners, but we're also gonna give them a chain link fence, so possibly, maybe look at
A good idea, yeah.
anti-climb, just the slat, something along that line. Will we have any money left over for signage? Part of the problem with the middle school right now and drop-off, if you compare it to Gearing, Gearing has some signs out, drop-off, hug zone, hug and go, things like that, to whereas the middle school has nothing, and it is absolute chaos. Maybe signage, paint, arrows, things like that, traffic control of some nature, something to look at.
So the best example so far of our bond projects is the Marine City campus with the drop-off arrows that were painted on,
Right.
on the concrete. And then the signage themselves will come from the building budgets. And like I said, both transition teams are talking about what they want, to have as far as signage inside and outside the building.
And can we get a copy of this slide deck emailed to us?
Yep.
And then, speaking of both transition teams, could we possibly, I mean, we're at our May meeting, so June's coming, the start of school is coming quick. Could we possibly get an update from those transition teams?
Yes. Let me think about the best way to deliver those notes to you. But yes, absolutely. They've done great work.
Yep, thanks.
I left one very exciting thing out. This little parking lot over by the addition at St. Clair 612, we're crossing our fingers. We're gonna see asphalt, the first lift placed tomorrow.
Oh, that's good.
So
Wonderful.
having asphalt on a school job go down in May is very, very exciting for us before Memorial Day. So we're keep fingers crossed, weather and the plant stays open and everybody gets
When
there.
do asphalt plants open?
Well, typically they open in May. This year, our local plant took a little while to open. And then you get in line. And but we're hopeful to see the first lift of asphalt on that lot. And that's the work of Lisa Bondi, a St. Clair resident, who was insistent on, she really wanted that last fall, but we'll take it in May, so.
Thank you.
Since we're on it, not necessarily in your purview, but do we have any updates from the local municipalities on the Cox Road sidewalk?
Yes, I asked recently and was told that it would be done by the start of school.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Appreciate the information.
Nice to see everybody. Take care, Joe.
Take your time.
the next item on our agenda is the consent agenda. The approval of minutes from the regular Board of Education meeting, April 28, 2025, and the approval of payment of bills, financial statement, and schedule of investments. A motion is needed, please.
So moved.
Support.
Any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Next item is departmental reports.
Good evening. Just from the Personnel Office, just want you to know that we are finalizing staffing for next year. So at our next meeting, we'll be recognizing our retirees already and now in a plan to replace those and assign staff accordingly. And also, we have one last kindergarten Young Fives registration event here tomorrow from 3:30 to 5:30. Of course, anyone can come and still register all summer long, but it's just a nice event to have everyone come in at once and be able to get all their paperwork done and everything. So if there's anyone with a little one that's wanting to start school, we will be here to register them. Thank you.
Thanks.
Nothing new to report from the curriculum department. Thank you.
Good evening, and from the business office, I just wanted to share, there's been a lot of talk about our budget and federal dollars and concerns about, what kind of effect that would have, and I just wanted to share that, all across the board, everyone is saying to still budget as, at the levels that we've been getting as far as awards, and to put that into perspective, Medicaid's about $400,000 for us. Title title funds are about $800,000, and then our IDEA grants federally are about $1.4 million. So, we are going to have discussions. Should something change, but just to put everyone at ease that we feel comfortable budgeting with that, with those as the current levels. So, we're working hard to get that budget ready, and we expect to present mid-June. So, thank you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to share that our special education department staff has been working hard to try to get all the IEPs done by the end of the school year, Medicaid billing by the end of the school year, and all the student planning that is involved for the next school year. So trying to get all, if students are going between two buildings for the next school year, we try to plan ahead to make sure everybody's involved in getting that information. So there's a lot that goes into planning for the next school year and trying to wrap up this school year at the same time. So, but everyone's working hard. Just wanted to share that with you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
So, as you can imagine, the operations department is very excited about getting new boilers and HVAC equipment in those buildings. And one of the other things that I noticed that didn't get mentioned yet is the controls for the St. Clair High School are going to be also a part of the project, so that's going to allow us to provide a much better, more comfortable environment. So we're looking forward to that.
Thank you.
Hi, from the Food Service Department, I just wanted to share that we will be offering summer meals at Bell River Elementary this summer from June 23rd to July 31st.
A couple things real quick. I just want to also give a congratulations to our seniors. Very proud of them, and I've said this multiple times. I've been here long enough. When I created their accounts, when they were in kindergarten, we used a unique, their graduation year as part of their account, and now you see them as kindergartners and now 2025 graduates, but very proud of them. Second thing I want to say is congratulations and a quick shout out to all of our high school participants who did AP testing this year. And I say that because the technology department was heavily involved in that. This is the first year that the entire AP testing was online. So we had a ton of behind the scenes things to do. We know it's stressful for a lot of our students. Everything has to run as good as possible. We've done a lot of preliminary, make sure all the Chromebooks were up to date. We worked with all the proctors. I want to give a shout out to Alice from our department, who was their first line of defense. It was a lot on our end, and we got to see firsthand if something went wrong. It just was not a fun situation. Last Friday was the last day of a major class that was taking the test. I came down, it was actually in this room, and none of them could log in. And those that are around AP testing know that that was a very stressful time for them. So we are, from our department, going into triage mode. What is wrong? Is it a Chromebook issue? Is it an internet issue? What is it? We'll come to find out after about 15 minutes, we had one of the proctors call, and unfortunately, College Board had a nationwide outage. So we were able to ease everybody's mind. All the kids stayed. They took their test. We finished about 4:45. It was awesome. But shout out to them. It's a lot for them, but also could be rewarding. So anyway, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda, Bond 2020 discussion action items, St. Clair Campus Food Service, Julie Humphrey.
Hi, Julie Humphrey, the Food Service Director for the district, and I'm here tonight to discuss the food service excess fund balance and the recommendations for the campus of St. Clair. The food service balance fund, or excess fund balance, occurs anytime at the end of the school year it exceeds 3 months of expenditures. So the MDE requires us to have a spend down plan to spend those funds within that year. Is the goal for that. And this fund is a restricted account, so therefore the funds have to be spent in the food service area or program. So the funds can be used to increase food quality, buy supplies, equipment, make updates, add staffing levels, add extra programs, things like that, but it has to stay within the food service program. March 21st of this year, the district was notified that we needed to create a spend down plan. So part of that plan was to spend most of that money at St. Clair campus because Marine City was already taken care of. So we had a newly designed area which would provide updated equipment to improve service efficiency, student experience, and food quality. Some of the spots that we're looking to do is the main serving line to create a whole new design, which would provide an additional station to offer those students, to convert the breakfast area into a deli line, which can be made to order salads and sandwiches every single day for students to pick, the St. Clair Campus Market, which would be added to the Commons area to increase the access to breakfast, lunch, and a la carte items throughout the day. This area would also offer additional things as in coffee, a la carte items, things like that. Coffee is only available to 9 through 12, and we currently have one here at the Innovation Center that we added last year, I think, was it? This coffee does comply with the MDE guidelines. So what that means is we use 1% milk. If we're adding anything to the coffee, we use sugar-free syrups or anything like that. So we do keep everything in compliance with that. Within the campus this next year, having middle school students within all of these areas, whether it's the serving line or the market, we will have to monitor student purchases for anybody that is in the 6 through 8 because the guidelines are a little different for those students. And that could be juices, Gatorades, anything like that that we currently sell to high school, we might not be able to sell to middle school. So when the system comes up, we scan a card, bring up their name, it actually tells us what building they're in and what grade they're in. So we manage this at Marine City, so we'll now just be managing it at another campus. This also spend down would obviously remove any of our equipment, and our goal for that is to move it to another location. If possible, sell it, but it's also equipment that a lot of people you can't sell to the general public. It's food service commercial equipment. So we will do our best to, again, relocate it or sell that. So I'm here today to recommend those two things. We solicited bids for the replacement of the St. Clair High School serving lines. 4 companies did request our RFP. Only one bid was received, and that is being recommended that Stafford Smith be awarded that contract. And then the other one we received for the market, 3 bids were received, and we're also recommending Stafford Smith. Excuse me, the first one for the removal of the existing line in the area of the cafeteria, also the removal of the breakfast area and replacement. That comes in at $478,281. And then the St. Clair Market is $188,092. So we're asking for action, and it's just based on the timeline. Like, we got our number in March, and by the time every bid and all the drawings and stuff came through, this is kind of where we're at, that we received some of them even last week. So does anybody have any questions on any of that? I know that was a lot.
Yeah, so as far as, let's start with like the serving lines. I know one big thing at the current middle school is a lot of times kids don't have enough time to like get their food, then sit down and eat. So like, will there be 2 serving lines now, or is it still just gonna be 1 line and there's still gonna be
So
waiting period?
you were, I believe, given some of the first diagram that you were given, it changed it up a little bit. And so what we're doing is we're adding 1 station there, so they'll have 1 extra option that they don't normally have. And then the deli line provides them another, which is the next one, provides them another location to get a lunch. And then the commons area provides them another location to get a lunch. So I would say, yes, we're splitting up and adding destinations, I guess you would say.
Is that in reality going to actually be allowed with the 6th through 8th graders? Like, you're gonna let them get food from the commons, you're gonna let them go into the
So I will,
cafeteria?
the cafeteria and the deli, I would say, would be our goal for 6th through 8th. Commons area, I believe we're gonna really target the high school students. But high school can go to both, but I believe that they're trying to. So for St. Clair Middle School students now, they'll have 2 extra stations to
Okay.
visit.
Okay.
And that's why we're trying to do this too.
Back in the day, it took about 11 minutes to feed everybody. That's about what it was.
Okay, and then,
Thanks, Ryan.
so coffee machine. Is there currently a coffee machine in Marine City's campus?
I would say in their store, yes. That would be, I don't know the answer, I guess I'll say that.
Yeah, I'd
I
have to-
saw a head shaking. so
Okay.
I think that was a no. So here's my concern with the spend down. Is everything coming out of the spend down? Nothing's coming out of like general fund? This is all cafeteria?
That's correct.
So the only thing for me is then, now you have the Innovation Center, you have St. Clair High's campus having a very fancy cappuccino machine. When I saw that price, I was mind blown, $27,000. So I'm not a fan of that at all. I think I'm not a proponent of having those kind of options in school, whether you're a middle schooler or a high schooler. And then I'm assuming these kids are paying for this, right? This is not
absolutely.
including in the free lunches or anything
A free
like
lunch
that.
is a free lunch. It's an entree, fruit, vegetable,
Yeah.
milk.
So then is the next thing gonna be asking, Marine City campus to also have this cappuccino machine? So I just wasn't sure in the purpose of it and why we would be putting it in the high school. And then how's that gonna get monitored? You've got a 6th grader who's got an older brother or sister who buys them a coffee because they want a coffee, and then you got.
And I understand that, but on the same token, if they wanted to Gatorade, if they wanted anything, we can't stop a student from getting their sibling anything. I mean, that's just, we can't.
Well, and I would be pushing for then the healthier food options in the schools only, so that that's not even a temptation. But I was concerned with, and I know again, you say it's a part of the budget or the spend down, but even that marketplace, that's a really large amount of money. And how it's gonna be utilized, will that many students, because I saw there was like the cold case, there's still a hot, that you're gonna have all that kind of equipment in that separate location.
So that's more of holding, to be honest with you. So most of our production will still be out of the cafeteria and bringing it over there. We're trying to add another location. So breakfast will be served out of that location, and lunch. So we won't have everything that we offer in the cafeteria, but we are gonna try to have pre-packed. We're gonna have salads, sandwiches, parfaits, probably hot sandwiches. I mean, our goal is to have a wide range of grab-and-go items from there, so where we're actually being able to service kids other than in the cafeteria.
And the marketplace, is that all then cash, credit card, or the student accounts, or is that part
It will
of
be
the free
treated
lunch?
exactly the same as a cafeteria. So free lunch will be served out of that as well.
It is an option there.
So all the à la carte items besides the coffee will be served in the cafeteria as well. It's just an expansion of, it's another service point, basically, is what it is.
And I guess you mentioned staffing it could be used for?
Yes, so I have added staffing to that location due to the amount of extra locations that we're going to be offering in stations.
I have to agree with you. I do not feel right spending that much money on coffee for high school kids.
I would like to comment, I understand your concerns. We have the machine here at the Innovation Center, and it's the machine, you've all seen it when you go to like a fast food place. It's a digital screen, and you can get hot water or a hot chocolate or coffee or different items. It's an automatic machine. I believe it's got a hard line, water line.
It's a hard water line. It has a flavor station. It has a cooler on the side to keep the milk cold. It's not just your
It's not a,
normal
you know,
coffee machine.
coffee machine, but it has that as an option. So I wanted just to clarify what the device looks like, and you can see it when you walk out of
I
here.
happen to catch it. But then you've got the upkeep the years after. As it breaks down, there's only a 1-year warranty on it. So for me, I would say not quite worth it if we're gonna be having to, you gotta pay for it, you gotta buy the ingredients for it. So I have a big issue with that one, for sure. And then just, was there other ways we could have been using this? When was the last time for what you're buying for the main cafeteria? Is all that you're replacing, or are you adding to the existing?
Are you talking the current serving line?
Yep.
We are replacing.
You're replacing. And
So-
when was the last time
That was
those were
replaced?
new?
1999.
1990.
So the original when it was first?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, we currently have some equipment that's currently not working that we're just making do for that purpose. And like I said, we are going to sell some of the items that we think we can sell. We are definitely going to try to do that. One of the things that I'm looking at is St. Clair Elementary has a big counter, and I would like to be able to serve kids coming in both ends. So I want to possibly take the wells that work. I have someone coming tomorrow to see if we can drop them in there. So we might not have to sell them, and we might be able to utilize that to make St. Clair Middle School Elementary another
Yeah,
spot.
that'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when you guys are charging for the coffees and the extra food, where does the money go?
The food service fund, everything, a food service fund is food service fund. So whether it's a student that buys something, a staff member that buys something, they get a free meal, we're reimbursed for it, goes directly to the fund.
All right, so back to staffing. You mentioned that you'll be adding staffing at the 6 through 12?
Yes,
Okay, is the existing staffing at the middle school moving to
yes.
6 through 12? What are your plans for the elementary? Are you adding staffing for that as well?
So
Because you're adding a grade. You currently only have 4th grade, K through 4 at Gearing right now, and you're moving back into a 5th grade without adding staff there?
That hasn't been decided yet, to be honest with you. However, Pine River, Bell River, Bell River and Palms have K through 5 currently, and so we have the same amount of staffing at those as we currently do at Gearing Elementary. So it's more about the amount of students we serve versus the number of grades that we have. So I have the van service person that's there, so we have the ways to not necessarily add staff, but add responsibilities. So she's no longer, say, delivering to Gearing, she'll be helping at that building, because her hours spent at Gearing is now going to be spent at St. Clair Middle School. So we've added, like, some of the things that we're doing, we have a person coming in earlier because we're going to have breakfast upstairs and downstairs. So yes, there'll be some adjustments. To say exactly what that is, that has yet to be determined.
So working towards more
Yes,
proficiency?
yes.
Okay.
So if it's needed.
So do we expect a net increase in headcount
For eating?
for all the,
For St. Clair River
Yeah.
Elementary, or for St.
well, we're talking about, a lot of moving different schools here. Are we expecting a headcount increase for food services, I would say?
So
I don't know what you're
employee
asking.
versus student number, right? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, yeah, just the total number of,
Is total number of students increasing? Is that what you're asking?
no employees to service.
Yes.
Do you expect-
So
yeah,
I
okay.
had to add to St. Clair, if we're providing another location that we don't currently have, like with the commons area, so that would be additional staffing. We don't currently have a deli line, that would be additional staffing. But we
that would
also
be
are
the
bringing people
who
over.
are working at the middle school now.
Yes, but I still will need, yeah. I recently just hired 2 people because of it, hoping to have them come back next year. You usually don't hire in May, but I did that so we're ready for the influx of students that are coming over.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. So because of the time consideration, we're gonna vote on this now.
Is there any consideration of tabling it?
No, and Julie, you can speak to that. In order for it to be ready for opening and, at the start of school year, it's now, and we're pushing it with now.
But I think we can talk out let's talk it through and, we might as well do it right now. So Lindsay and Karen had a concern with the coffee
The
maker,
coffee,
right?
and that's on the second one we're voting on, right?
Yeah, the cafe.
In B, so we
In
can
B,
vote
yeah.
on A and then discuss that in B, am I correct? Or is it all one motion?
No, it's 2.
Should be 2.
Okay.
So A is the recommendation for the removal and insertion of the large line, right? The St. Clair High School serving line.
So it'd be the first 2 diagrams that you got, the serving line
This guy.
and the replacement of the
Deli.
side room that we currently use for breakfast, which is from a deli. So fresh made sandwich to order, sandwiches and salads, and then prepackaged stuff. That is
Okay. So we'll vote on the first one and then we'll talk about the second one. So the administration is recommending that the Board of Education approve the bid by Stafford Smith in the amount of $478,281 for the serving lines, equipment, and installation. A motion is needed, please.
So moved.
Support. Any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. All right. So is the coffee maker the?
Sticking point?
That's the
Yeah.
sticking point?
Yep.
How do you guys feel about the coffee maker?
I think my kid will love it. So I'm in.
I'm ambivalent.
My daughter would have been fine with it as well. She's stopping at McDonald's otherwise.
That's
That's
exactly,
what I was gonna
that's
say.
exactly what I was gonna say.
They
I'd rather
leave
be on
campus.
You spending
campus.
$5 at Tim Hortons on the way in.
Yeah.
Well, how much
exactly
are the
what I thought.
coffees that?
I think there'll also be if a coffee's $3, you'll have a haves and have-nots. I would not have had $3 in my pocket in high school, but
They serve coffee there now, right? Or not?
Yes, they have coffee in the school store.
How much is coffee today?
That I don't know how much it costs to cut.
But that money goes to the school store for their thing.
The school store money goes to the general fund, or to the
School store.
Yeah.
To the
to
business
school
office.
store, yeah.
That's their own line item.
Yeah.
I just can't see spending $27,000 on a coffee machine. I just,
Yeah, if you want to replace that with something, I would be, or a staffer, like an extra person to be there, but.
Are you sure that's the number? Because the number I saw was 17.
So if you do the line item on it, it's kind of.
Yeah, and then year after year, what you are.
This isn't for
again, with
staffing, right?
ingredient-
It's capital.
Ingredients and all
This-
that.
Yeah, but the one thing we didn't mention, this would be a nice bonus for your teachers and your staff members in the building as well, because I know that staff members use the Innovation Center machine. And, there's been concern about students going to McDonald's or Tim Hortons to get their coffee, and, we're not preventing them from getting coffee.
But if they
Right,
already
but
have
that's
it there.
Yeah, for me, that's like a family choice that is
Yeah,
not
I understand,
something
yeah.
I would
And it would,
endorsed.
it's always monitored on your student account what they're purchasing. So if, and I want to catch Julia's eye real quick. If I were to purchase a coffee on my student account, could my family see that, my parents see that it was a coffee that I purchased? It says coffee, so you can monitor.
Could they theoretically block the purchase of coffee at their account? Do you have the ability to?
Skyward currently doesn't allow that, it only allows block of all other carte purchases. So any a la carte, whether it's a coffee for $3 or a bottle of water or a bag of chips, it all would be the same, so they either block it all or nothing. Or you can put on your account that they have to have cash to purchase it, but we don't do cash sales, so a parent, if they want to monitor, can. Like if cash goes on the account, then coffee would go on the account, so a parent would still be able to see it whether they're paying in cash or not. Now, when we switch to another.
They wouldn't be allowed to charge a coffee.
We try very hard not to allow them to charge any a la carte items, to be honest with you. It doesn't always work because they're off the door, they open the box, we're not taking it out of their hands, they're throwing it away. We do have to make the coffee, so we do try to put it in the system first prior to even starting the coffee. And there's just gonna be 2 people there at that location, in the cafeteria, due to the fact that we can't cover.
So, is there a plan B do you have another option for something other than a coffee maker if you wanted to move this forward?
We'd have to.
This is use it or lose it money, right? Like, we use it.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't lose it. We're required, so the MD requires us to spend it.
On this buy
The
down.
goal is, if we have the $700,000 to spend this year, that we at least have a plan to spend that amount of money, at least that amount of money. So,
So how often do we have some sort of a?
spend now, since
I would say a little bit
Annually.
before that. Annually. We would probably be taking care of our excess fund for next year because of food service has been taking on some of the other stuff that the bond hasn't been able to, which is cafeteria tables. That's something that food service doesn't usually purchase, and we are purchasing a lot of cafeteria tables to also make the spend down plan as well.
So Ron, what's your feeling on this?
In terms of the coffee maker or the using the commons?
Coffee maker is from what I understand, the primary sticking point, so.
I guess I'm ambivalent. I'm not against it. So I guess by default, I'm supporting it.
Did you say by default you're what?
Supporting it.
Oh.
All right, well,
I'm just wondering if we took a little more time, just to know there's a little bit of angst against the coffee maker. What else could we purchase or do with that $27,000 that could help the kids out? I mean, you said like staffing. I mean, is there a little thing is this, any of that money, could it be used to teach kids about cooking? Something with, like, I know the little ones who do the Try It Tuesday. Like, are there a little more, just maybe like another healthy new option to show them?
So since you mentioned Try It Tuesday, at secondary levels, I do something that's called Discovery Kitchen. So it's the same thing, we're bringing in somebody, we set up a table, we do that type of stuff as well. To table it, I think you have to
Get away with not having a commons area, another location to serve the kids.
Just the marketplace.
So maybe
Which
we're
is correct,
overthinking
there's
it.
nothing, there'll be nothing, so the second one is the whole entire structure, it's not just the coffee, is what I'm saying, so like,
Right.
we'd have to figure that out, I don't know if that's a thing you can take something off and do the whole rest of it, that's not,
Yeah, we haven't made a motion yet. We could make a motion for
It's-
the whole thing minus the coffee.
We're on the recommended action. If it doesn't pass, then we'll have to have more.
It has to be redesigned.
We wouldn't have it ready for
we will not.
school opening.
all right, we'll run the vote. and see how it goes. The administration is recommending that the Board of Education approve the bid by Stafford Smith in the amount of $188,092 for the St. Clair campus market. I need a motion.
So moved.
Support.
I doubt there's any comments or questions. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Does it have to be like a majority vote, or is it?
Is that a roll call?
Let's just do a quick roll call.
Secretary Becker,
Aye.
Treasurer Kelly,
Yes.
Vice President Seaver,
No.
Trustee Heslin,
Yes.
Trustee Chapman,
No.
Trustee Treadwell,
No.
and President Westbrook.
Yes. All right, motion carries to approve. All right, the next item, information and discussion items, RISA biennial election candidates.
Okay, I'd like to just share with you, this was something that I had to work through myself, because I wasn't, Tiffany and I worked through this a little bit to make sure we understand. And Karen, you sent an email graciously offering to go up and be the representative for East China School Board in this vote. So there are two people running for two seats on the RISA School Board, Michael McCartan and Jessica Toddy. So there are two people, two seats. That part is easy. The part that you need to vote on is this resolution of who is going to go cast your vote for these two people, Michael McCartan and Jessica Toddy. So the resolution from RISA asks that we have a representative and then an alternate. The alternate would only be there in case the representative can't go. So not both people are going up to vote, one person would go up to vote. So what you need to discuss tonight, under information discussion, is who you would like your representative to be and who your alternate would be. And then when we take action later, we will be, you as a board, will be asking that person, your representative, to vote for Michael McCartan and Jessica Toddy.
All right.
I said I was happy to do it.
I nominate Karen Cedar.
100%.
Second that.
Second.
Third, fourth.
And we're looking for an alternate.
When is it?
June 2nd at 4:30 PM.
It's an alternate. You may not have to do it.
I can do it.
What day of the week is that? Tuesday, probably.
What time is it? 4:30?
4:30.
I can.
There you go.
Make a motion that Jamie Haslam be the alternate.
Great.
June 2nd is a Tuesday, is a Monday.
Okay. Okay.
All right, awesome.
Karen, don't let me down.
You have to vote.
Usually on this, everybody sits there quietly and nobody said the word.
I'm not good at that, so please don't let me down.
All right, the next item is food service contract. Angie Gleason.
Okay, good evening. So as required by Michigan Department of Education, school districts must issue a formal request for proposal for food service management company services every 5 years. This process was conducted in 2024 and resulted in the award of the contract to Chartwells, effective July 1st, 2024. Following the initial contract year, MD permits up to 4 additional one-year renewals. So the upcoming 25-26 school year represents the first renewal year. There are 2 changes proposed on this renewal. The first is the monthly administrative fee. It will increase by 3.1%. And when you look at this year, right now, monthly, we pay $8,970 for administrative fees. And the increased amount for next fiscal year is $9,248. Now, we pay that monthly, but we only pay it 10 months out of the year. So the net difference between the upcoming year and this current year is $2,780 for the 10 months annually, okay? And then the next item that will increase in the renewal is the per meal management fee. And it will have the same increase of 3.1%. So this fee is assessed for every meal that's served at the district. So this year, the fee is 6.4 cents. Next year, 6.59%. So that difference is a fraction of a penny. And I wanted to note that we currently serve just under 400,000 meals. Now, when you're calculating or how the per meal fee is calculated, every lunch that's served is 1 meal, and every 2 breakfasts that are served is the equivalent of a meal. So taking all that into account is where the just under 400,000 meals are served. So that increase for the year is, again, $759. So approval of this first year renewal will be presented to the board for action in June, at the June meeting. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next item is recognition of persons wishing to address the board. This portion of the agenda is for citizens to address any questions, comments to the board. The board will listen, take comments and questions under advisement, and not respond at this time. The presiding officer will refer questions to the superintendent for research and response. And today we have a single green card, Bill McCoy.
Good evening. Bill McCoy, retired RESA educator, is my second career. I was also a retiree from Ford Motor prior to that. I come here as a concerned taxpayer and also as a parent/grandparent and as an advocate for promoting that our students of all ages are provided with the best learning opportunities they could possibly have. East China School District, in my opinion, and I wear the Marine City and the St. Clair shirts from working at Tech years back, has given our children of all ages that opportunity to succeed with the best-in-class facilities, teachers, staffing, and learning materials, and other resources that have got our district to this level of excellence. I trust that our school administrators and school board will make the right choices in the present and future that will enable our students of all ages to continue to receive the best possible educational opportunities for our children to succeed, and I believe that you all feel the same way. Well, my faith and trust was shaken when I was made aware of a letter that was sent out last Friday to the parents of the infant and toddler rooms, letting them know that these programs were being discontinued at the end of August due to funding. Cost of rising operations and staffing costs, materials, and facility maintenance were all part of the reason. The rooms targeted have been established for many years and recently updated with funds generated by grants from the government at various levels, making the rooms best in class. So this isn't a good reason to close these rooms. The staff has received training and numerous child care development workshops, and some have advanced education in this field, which resulted in the state coming in and determining that East China earned the highest levels possible and we're told to keep up the good work. So this isn't a problem. The staff is all pretty much part-time employees working 30 hours a week with no health benefits, making approximately $15 an hour. So in my mind, that isn't a problem. So money coming in and money going out to maintain all the facilities, staffing, and offer opportunities to our students, such as sports, music, arts, and other extracurricular activities, which we're aware of are going on next door. And that's great. I love it all. Is a huge responsibility managed by all of you. So when I voted yes for the numerous millages in the past, I told myself it's the right thing to do. And I just didn't have to question it because I knew the administration were doing the right thing with building new facilities, renovating the old ones for our children, because I felt, again, it was the right thing to do. Examples such as the Performing Arts Building, the new gym at the high school, new admin building, improvements to our sporting facilities, offering students opportunities to succeed at the highest level. It's okay because it's the right thing to do. So after 27 years of living in St. Clair and watching our East China school students thrive in various walks of life because of the education and social opportunities they have had, starting from infancy through high school, I am proud to brag about where I live, and I also have had an opportunity to work at RISA for 13 years, where I engage with numerous people from other school districts. I have never had trouble defending our district, East China, because of all the leadership from the past and present that made this possible. They always make the best decisions that benefit our children because it was the right thing to do. Closing down East China infant and toddler rooms is not the right thing to do. I urge you as administrators and school board members to explore all avenues to keep the infant and toddler rooms a viable operation. There's many benefits to early childhood education. I'm going to make sure I'm not running out of time. Benefits are numerous, including improved social, emotional development, enhanced academic preparation, and the likelihood for future success. They engage with cognitive development, preparation for school, early identification and intervention, when potential developmental delays or learning challenges are identified. Lifelong learning, the love of learning in early childhood lays the groundwork for a lifelong pursuit of knowledge. Long-term gains, studies show that high-quality early childhood care and education leads to higher wages, living healthier lives, and contributing positively to society. According to the First 5 Years Fund, the Early ECE Education Group says it helps children learn the foundational skill for reading, math, self-control, and positive relationships. These are just two examples. And as of now, I know there's a big push for the free child care for 4-year-olds, and that's great. I also know there's funding available for infants through the 3-year-old group, but that's harder to come by. So the hardship is you got people coming here with 4-year-olds that are going to drop them off at our GSRP, and they got younger siblings. Well, what happens there? Currently, they have an opportunity to come here. But evidently, I'm understanding that maybe Algonac, they could go, well, why is Algonac keeping their early child care? I haven't explored Marysville and Port Huron and all the other districts, but I don't think it's that great a cost to maintain these 2 or 3 rooms that we're trying to cut out due to the importance of what it does for these young children. And many people we come across in the community said they had their start here with early childhood and have gone on to live successful lives. And I just urge the board and administrators, do what you can to save these 2 programs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, we have a couple more green cards. Ann Salisbury.
Hi, hello, members of the board. My name's Ann Salisbury. I sent this email to you guys, so it's in your inbox, but I think it's good to have it on for public comment. My husband and I were both lifelong members of the community. I went to St. Clair and he went to Marine City. He's home now with our sweet little 9-month-old baby George, who is infant at the child care center just here. On Friday, dropping him off, I got a letter in his mailbox saying that the school was going to be closed at the end of summer. I think the decision to eliminate this vital support is both disheartening and frankly misaligned with the values we believe our district ought to uphold, specifically on the heels of a recent bond where we supported the tagline investing in our future. We understand that childcare programs are not inexpensive, but cost alone should not dictate decisions that directly impact the health and well-being of professionals we entrust with educating our children and shaping the future of our community. The removal of infant care, while perhaps a line item on a budget sheet, has far-reaching consequences that no spreadsheet can fully capture. We have seen our schools at their best. Like I said, I graduated in 2011 and my husband from Marine City in 2009 when the schools were at their peak, when teachers and staff felt supported, when families thrived, and when our institutions reflect the needs of those who dedicate their lives to serving them. Removing infant childcare sends the opposite message, that our educators are on their own when it comes to navigating one of the most challenging and vulnerable stages of parenthood. That's not the kind of district we want to be, and that's not the kind of message we should be sending if we're serious about attracting, retaining talented, committed professionals and keeping our young families in the area. We ask you to consider what this program represents beyond the dollars and cents. It's a statement of values. It says to our young families, to working families, to staff members in the prime of their careers, you belong here, we are invested in you at every stage. Without that message, we risk losing the very people who make our schools and our community exceptional. We urge you to revisit this decision with seriousness and with vision. Surely there's partnerships, grant opportunities, shared service models that can help make infant care sustainable. But abandoning the effort entirely is not acceptable. This community deserves better, and our educators deserve better. Please know I don't speak just for myself, but many residents, families, and longtime supporters of the district who are dismayed by this decision. The state funding for the preschool program, it's great, but it gives parents a lot of opportunities to search in other districts. This suggestion to go to Algonac seems like an easy opportunity for a lot of families to move there. We're committed, I speak on behalf of my husband and my child. We're committed to advocating for the reconsideration. We welcome the opportunity to work collaboratively toward a more compassionate and forward-thinking solution. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Carla Myers.
More than half of you guys know who I am. For the other half, I'm Carla Myers. I've been working for the district for about 22 years now. I was asked by Keitha Knuth, senior superintendent, to join the Kids Connection, and I greatly accepted. And since then, I've given this building, not actually this building, we've been in like 5 buildings, but I moved. It was hard for our parents, but we did it. We're here. There was a bond passed. Dawn, I'd like your eyes. We've moved together for many times, and my understanding is this bond that did go through was part of this daycare, infant, toddler, preschool. So I'm not much of a speaker out in public. I like to read stories and sing songs to my babies. I've given so many parents and their families in the district the feeling of security. I've watched so many of these kiddos become great athletes, band members, theater guild. This year's homecoming, I think there was at least 5 of the homecoming staff or homecoming kids that were were from the daycare. I was very proud of them. I haven't seen them in a while. I see them here and there, but they become something. Our little ones become something. Our little ones need something. They need us. My heart is, I've lost my spot. Every one of these little ones took a piece of my heart with them, and they still have it. My heart is huge because of them. I don't understand why the infant and toddler rooms cannot continue. I certainly don't cost that much. I certainly don't make $15 after 22 years. I don't make $15. I've asked for raises. I did get one this year because of other ones coming in and getting the same price as I do, the same amount as I do. I think you need to know that. It's heartening. It's heartening that we cannot continue. I'm hoping that maybe the board can do something for these little ones. All these parents, hundreds of parents that have gone through this daycare realize what they had. Myself, Kim, between us, 45 years of service for this daycare. We've had some great parents work, or people working in the daycare too. This is one of the most gratifying jobs one can have, and hope others can continue after me. I am getting up to retirement age, and I would love to see this program continue. Maybe my grandkids who went to St. Clair High School, maybe they can go to the daycare too, because I'll be the first one bringing them, taking them, making sure they go to a good, secure daycare. Some of these other daycares, yes, Elginak probably does. Some of these other daycares, they don't have people in and out and in and out, and then it's scary to have your baby somewhere. I love my moms. Good luck to the board in trying to save the babies and the toddlers now in the future. Julie, maybe you can use some of your money, put it our ways, keep the babies alive. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. All right, the next item on our agenda is closed session. Recommended action pursuant to 81C of the Open Meetings Act, Act 267 of 1976. I move that the Board of Education goes into closed session for the purpose of negotiating collective bargaining agreement. I need a motion, right?
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. So we'll enter into closed session now, and we'll be back shortly to close the meeting.